Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of City Skylines, where in the last episode we finished with this cool looking area with a train station right on the edge of what is still called Amity Square, and I think that turned out pretty good looking. I think the train station itself is an important part of the infrastructure around here. As we can see, it is incredibly busy, especially people going in that direction, probably going to either somewhere over here to work in the forest industry or on the farm or to go to college. And in today's episode, this area is where we are going to continue our build. Now, this is supposed to be the financial center of our main town area, main downtown. The busiest part will be over here with the most skyscrapers and stuff, but this will also be a very important hub on the island. But it is called the financial district, but we don't have any actual banks in the area. So that is one thing that we are going to rectify today. And I think this little area over here would be a cool little spot to have a couple of banks and financial looking buildings and some offices. Then over here, as I've said many times before, this is where we're going to have another football stadium. And then I was thinking maybe we could start... Oh, jumpy game. Then I was thinking we can start filling in this area over here, maybe this area over here, which will be mostly low density or medium density. Not quite sure yet, not high density, that's for sure. But we do need a little bit more connections in this area, I think. Right now, we have this road that is coming through, which is basically coming directly from a highway exit. And we have this road over here, which can curl around to meet up with it. I think we have enough room over here to build another small highway exit, though we do have the rail going through the middle of it. So we do have to be, a little bit careful of how we are going to do that. But hopefully we can make a super small highway exit entrance that will help with traffic in this area over here. I don't think we're gonna have any roads coming over or under the highway from this side. So I think a road over here, road over here, road over here. And maybe a highway exit will be basically everything that's going to feed the traffic into this area. And that's why I don't want any high density over here. I want to keep it low to medium density as much as possible, because that causes a lot less traffic than high density does. So yeah, that is the plan for today. First, we are going to start with filling in some financial things into the financial district. So let's go. Not a bad start to this episode at all, if you ask me. So we filled in a lot of the open spaces on this side of Amity Square. The main attraction over here is, of course, the football stadium, the soccer stadium that we put in. It is the Timberbox Soccer Stadium from the Sports Venue Content Creator Pack, and it looks absolutely beautiful. It's quite a bit different than the copper ball that we used on the other side of the mountain, but I really like how this looks though. It is a real nice stadium. I gave the theme a nice teal color, so I thought that would be appropriate for this part of the city. And yeah, it looks pretty awesome. It is a tropical stadium though, because if I'm seeing correctly, there's glass on this side. And there's glass on this side if we look from over here. But it looks like this side and this side of the stadium is open. So it would be pretty cold during the winter months. But it's currently 23, 24 degrees Celsius over here. So that shouldn't be a problem whatsoever. And we won our first 2 matches, so that is awesome. We have earned almost 340,000. I think if we up the price to like 35, we can do that. Excellent. And then over here on this side, I added a couple of small football fields. They are supposed to be the training grounds for the club that is playing over here, close by enough that it is on the same complex, but far away enough that they're not in the way of people visiting the stadium on match days, so that is cool. As you can see, I also finished the tram line over here, or ended the tram line, I should say. We'll have 1 or 2 stops over here. I don't really know what to do with the tram line, because, you know, there's a loop now over here, and then we have the squiggly going over here, all the way through the main part of the city here, and then all the way to here. But even if we were to separate this in several different lines, there is no way for the trams to turn around. So, except for here now. So if we were, for instance, if we were to say, thank you. If we were to say, put a line in from over here to over here, then there is no way for the trams to turn around over here. So they'll have to do the entire loop anyway and then come back to start the second part of the route. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do with the tram line yet. I think it looks cool over here in the middle. Now over here, I did add another single node crossing. Doesn't look as great as the first one that we did, but at least it's functional. And now that I'm looking at it, we are going to add these over here and here and here. And then over here we filled in the area with a skyscraper bank which has 20 cash fans, and we have a couple small generic banks which I downloaded from the workshop. We don't collect any cash because we don't do anything with investments. We haven't even unlocked investments. Built a stock exchange. Okay. Then that is what we are going to do next, building a stock exchange. I completely forgot we had to do that. But yeah, we built some banks, we built a couple of skyscrapers, some offices alongside the highway over here. Not too much buildings, plenty of green around, so yeah. Same goes for over here, not too many buildings, plenty of green, plenty of trees, plenty of walking space also. Yeah, we added a compact bus stop over here as well. Why don't we put in some bus lines over here? Because we don't have that many. Okay, let's add a local bus line. Let's create a new line. Very nice, very nice. Now, How does this look? I didn't detail anything over here because I didn't know how the tram stops would be on the tram roads, but looks like we don't have any benches or anything, so we can detail this a little bit more. Excellent. Public transport is started, I should say, in this part of the city, which is nice. So next part is going to be over here. I think I am going to try and build a cool little highway exit over here connected to this one over here, and then start filling in this part over here with some low density, medium density buildings, maybe even this part over here. Depends a little bit on how fast I'm going today, but yeah, I think it is time for our city to grow a little bit. So let's go. right, and here we are again, and it's starting to look pretty good, if I do say so myself. We have a whole new little neighborhood down here that I must say looks pretty nice. I tried to use a lot of different variations in the houses, so we don't have all the same houses, even though they are all the low density eco buildings. Over here we have the highway exit and on-ramp. I only did one side of the highway. I tried to do the other side, but there just isn't enough room to get a highway exit and a highway on-ramp on there and elevated enough to go over the rail and over itself. So we'll have to do with one side, and that's not something that is that uncommon. I mean, the town that I grew up in, I know they originally planned to have both sides of the highway done. But they started with one side of the highway, and when that was finished, I don't know, budget ran out, or they had trouble with neighboring cities or something. I don't know what it was, but they never did the second side. So now the town that I grew up in, there is only an on-ramp and an off-ramp on one side of the highway. And if you want to go the other way, then you have to go to a neighboring village or city to get on the highway or get off the highway. So that's pretty realistic. So yeah. Pretty nice looking neighborhood over here. I really like the way that the city is creeping towards this side of the island. We started obviously on this side of the highway, but now with this extension it is starting to go all the way to this bay over here. And I think remaining space between what we did just now and the water is going to be more of this. We're going to have a lot more high value, low density residential creeping all the way towards the shoreline. So this will be a very exclusive community with a lot of pretty expensive houses dotted around. Just like we did over here will be some medium density, some little apartment buildings just to get the numbers up. But yeah, that will be how we will finish this part of the island. And for the rest of this episode, now I don't want to start any new big projects this episode, but we do have a little bit of time left. So I was thinking maybe it is time to start connecting some of our some of our bigger cities together. We have, of course, the entertainment district here, which has a, not a fishing harbor, which has a ferry pier over here. Why don't we connect it up with a ferry pier over here and over here as well? And then on this side of the island, we can add a ferry pier and connect it up to the ferry pier that is over here. That's not it. But there is a ferry pier over there, so we can have a few ferry connections going around. Also, this bay over here, this natural inlet from the sea, this would be a great place for a natural harbor. We have the water coming pretty deep into the island, and then we have the mountain ranges over here protecting from bad weather as well. So I think this would be a nice place to have some harbors, maybe some industrial over here. I think a ferry harbor over here would be nice. Maybe a smaller ferry harbor or an extension of it over here. So maybe we can do something with that as well this episode. So let's see where it brings us. Alright, a little bit of a shorter building section, but here we are again. I have added some of the ferry stops I was talking about, so now we have a ferry connection around this side of the entire peninsula. And I started building a harbor on this side of the island. I did transform this area into a little oil industry area. After looking at the resources, there's a lot of oil in this bay, so I was like, you know, maybe we can do a little oil industry over here. And if we do a little oil industry, then we can put down our newest unique factory, which is the seafood factory, which needs fish and plastics. Plastics are, of course, produced by the oil industry, so that is what we built over here. We have a pretty big parking lot at the back, probably intended for employee parking, but as you can see, nobody is using it. So yeah, but I do think it looks cool. I use the more rundown asphalt texture parking lot roads for this one. So yeah, little industry area. It's only 2 stars right now. We are producing a pretty penny. We are producing quite a lot of product. We have a nice total profit of 11,000, and if I'm not mistaken, the unique factory has a production value of 14,000 as well. Material cost is only 2,000, so those two combined are giving us a pretty penny in profit to cut back on our weekly expenses, which have gone to 160,000 a week almost. I won't be surprised if by the end of the next episode we're at 200,000 a week. So don't look at those too much. Then yeah, for the rest in this area over here, I'm thinking maybe over here would be a cool place to have a cruise ship harbor. But before I'm going to even attempt building a cruise ship harbor, I'm going to download a couple of harbor assets and some boat assets in the workshop. Look at some real world examples, because I did that last time, and although it looked okay-ish, I was never quite happy with how the cruise ship terminal came out. So I'm going to do a little bit more research before we start on that. Next big project, I think. We won a football match, I think. Let's see. Yeah, we won. Excellent. And that gave us 31,000. I think we can up the price to 40 for this one. I like the way that how we added 2 football stadiums in the same city, and they're probably playing at the same level in the same league. They are probably each other's biggest rivals. How far apart would this be? Like 10 kilometers? Not even. From this stadium to this stadium. So yeah, we have a cool football rivalry in our city. The derbies in this city they're going to be wild. So yeah, excellent, excellent. I can already envision the chaos that these cities will be whenever there is a derby to be played between these 2 clubs. So yeah, excellent, excellent. Football rivalries are always cool as long as they are peaceful. So what is next for the city? Now, I don't want to start on the major part over here just yet. I want to finish the residential area over here and the waterfront houses. That's going to take some time for me to do. I probably won't record all of that because, you know, it'd be a whole lot of the same again. Also, before I start the next part of the city, I want to finish our entertainment district. I want to fill this in with some more high density residential. Same goes for over here. And then the next big thing, I think, is going to be an airport. Now, we don't have a lot of land left in Veres Isles to put an airport. So I think the best option for us is to build an airport out of reclaimed land. And if we look at the overall map, I think there are a couple of options. We have this one over here off the shore of what will be the main part of the city. We have this water down here, which is all open and available. And then we have this little bay over here, which could be an airport. And I think this one is going to be the best bet, maybe over here, because this one, there is no highway access. This one would be in front of the party beaches. But this one, there is no city on this shore. And we have a highway over here, which we could modify to add a bridge or a tunnel over here. into the airport. And I think maybe that will even be our next big project. But for now, I think this is a little bit of a shorter episode. But we did build quite a lot if I look back on it. We added the financials in the financial district. We added a new soccer stadium with training complex. We expanded the residential area. We even expanded to this side of the beach as well. We added some more public transit over the water this time. And we added, of course, a little bit of an oil industry on this part of the island. So yeah, everything is coming together pretty nicely. Looking at it like this, there is plenty of land that has been built by now, but there is also plenty of things left for us to do. But those things we are going to do in the next episode. I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye!